Hey guys, Ranger here, and welcome back to another video. This is not a video I ever planned on doing. Certainly not. Yesterday morning, our cat Tippy passed away. He lived to be 17 years old, which is about average for a cat. 15, 16 years old is about average, and he lived to be 17 years old. He had been sick for probably about a week. He just got to where he wasn't meowing as much, he wasn't moving around as much. And for probably the past few days before yesterday, which was Thursday, he got to where he just had no energy. He hardly ate anything, and he just pretty much just laid there in the floor. And his breathing had gotten heavy. He was breathing real hard, and he could not get up and move around without becoming out of breath. And he could try to go to his litter pan, and whenever he would come back, he would be breathing real heavy. And he was coughing like he had bronchitis. And we didn't take him to the vet because where he was so old, we knew that it would scare him to death. He's only been to the vet one time in his life, and that was whenever he was about 8 or 9 years old. And we knew that if we tried to take him to the vet, that he would probably just have a heart attack. And so we figured it was just better to just let him live out the rest of his days. And he had gotten worse over the past couple of days, and he just pretty much just laid there on the floor. And I remember every time that I'd walk into the room where he was, I'd say hi to him, and I'd pet him, and sometimes he'd look up at me and he'd meow. I don't know if maybe saying hello or hey. And Wednesday night, we really didn't know if he was going to make it. And yesterday morning, at a couple of minutes to 8, I heard him holler. And I ran to the bathroom because Wednesday night he decided he was going to stay in the bathroom. And so I remember Wednesday night, I walked into the bathroom, and I started petting him and brushing him with his favorite brush. And yesterday morning, Thursday, a couple minutes to 8, my mom, she called me, and all she said, I heard her call me, and all she said was, "Andy," and at that time, I heard Tip make a meow, and I ran, and I got in the bathroom, and he was just laying there, and he was barely breathing. And at first, whenever I saw him, I thought he was already gone. And I knelt down next to him, and I started petting him, and I remember he moved his eyes up, and he he was laying on his right side, and he like looked up at me, and he made another meow, and he looked back away from me, and he made one more twitch, like his head and his feet twitched, and that was it. He stopped breathing. And I kept petting him for like another minute, I guess. Just sitting there with him, petting him, and I felt of him to see if I could feel a heartbeat, but I couldn't feel no breathing, no heartbeat. And I think I was just numb to it. I mean, he was 17 years old, and you know in the back of your mind at some point that they're going to pass away. You never want to think about it. You try to force that thought out of your mind, and you just try to think on the present. You don't want to think about the future. And I remember Wednesday morning, whenever I laid down to go to sleep, I remember praying and asking for, if he was meant to live, for him to pull through, but if it was his time to, please don't let him suffer anymore. Just let him pass away peacefully. And that same morning yesterday was whenever he passed away. And I remember, as I just sat there petting him, it kind of felt numb. Like, it just didn't seem, real. But at the same time, I knew that it was. It was like a mental, emotional battle. And I got the plastic storage box that my mom had got just in case something happened to him. And I got the mat that he always ate on, and it was clean, and I put that in the box, and then I picked him up and I wrapped him in his favorite blanket, his blanket that he always laid on the most, and I wrapped him in his blanket and put him in the box, and I put a small Bible in the box with him, and I put his favorite brush that he loved being brushed with. I put that in the box with him, and then I sealed the box, and my mom called another guy that she knows to come down, to come over, and he and I climbed up the hill behind the house, and we buried him. And he just, 17 years, he brought us joy and laughter. He had his own personality. And he loved for you to pick him up and carry him around in the house, let him look and sniff of things. And whenever he was really tiny, whenever he was still just a wee kitten, I remember one year we put the Christmas tree up, and he climbed up inside the Christmas tree, and at one point he poked his head out of it. He was small enough he could climb around inside the tree, and I remember at one point he poked his little fuzzy head out. And there's a part of me that kind of wishes that I wasn't there whenever he took his last breath, but at the same time there's a part of me that's glad. like at least he saw someone before he passed on. And I am also glad that I was there petting him and telling him it was going to be okay. And it just doesn't seem real, like. And last night, whenever walking through the house, I kept, whenever there wasn't a light on, I kept thinking, watch out for the cat, you'll trip over him. And then, this morning, whenever I got up, I walked past the sunroom, and I just thought I'd see him laying there on newspapers or on a blanket, asleep. And it is very different not having him around. I mean, you have him for 17 years, and 17 years of my life, and but he did live a good life. He was spoiled to death. He was spoiled. He was spoiled rotten. But he did live a good life. And I am happy that in his final moments, that even though there's a part of me that kind of wishes, that I didn't have that final memory, at the same time, I'm glad that I was there with him whenever he stopped breathing, whenever his heart stopped beating. And I made him as comfortable as I could in his box. And like I said, I wrapped him up in his favorite blanket and put his brush and a Bible in there with him. And I have no doubt in my mind that he's watching over us now, that he's looking down at us now. I have no doubt about that. I believe that he's with my grandparents now, with Mama and Papa. I really believe that he's with them now. He's happy. No more pain, no more sorrow, no more sadness. He's happy. He's with other cats, playing and having fun, and I really do believe that. Now he's just with my grandparents. He's just waiting for the rest of us. I miss him, I do, but I'm happy that he's not suffering anymore. That he's as happy as he ever could be now. And it'll, you get used to having a pet like that, and they're not just a pet, they're part of the family. And it'll take some time to adjust. But we still have the pictures and we still have the memories. And I do find comfort in knowing that he's happy now, that he's not suffering anymore. And he's with my grandparents. I really believe that. But anyway, I made a post over on Facebook yesterday after it happened, and I wanted to make a video, and I know others. I know some of you might have lost a pet too, and you know how it feels. But I'm not, like, really depressed or, sad over it, because I knew that it was coming to an end, just with his health and everything, and I was sort of prepared for it. It doesn't make it any easier, it makes it easier, but it's still, you still, no matter how much you prepare, you cannot really prepare for whenever they're gone. But, like I said, I'll be okay. I'll be okay. It's going to take some time to adjust, but I am happy knowing that he's okay now. But thank you guys again for joining me. I'll be back doing videos, hopefully soon, hopefully in a few days maybe, but anyway, just wanted to let you guys know, fill you in with the details regarding what I posted over on my Facebook. But again, thank you guys again for joining me, and hopefully I will see you guys, hopefully in a few days with the next video that I do. Take care.